Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. Okay, so today we're going to talk about avoidance. I just came across a video and it reminded me of some thoughts that came up. So this is going to be kind of the hard knock school of talking about this. Just kind of most people that talk about avoidance online are avoidants. Now, I forget what this person said, but it reminded me of when I was a kid. When I was a little kid, I'm talking like 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, and all the way through sports and high school and college and etc. All I ever heard from adults, parents, teachers, pastors, ministers is be responsible, face your problems head on, etc., etc. In other words, don't avoid your problems. And they would say, hey, if you avoid your problems, they're just going to get bigger. And whatever they said made me think of that. And I went, wait a minute, that's exactly what an avoidant does. They avoid their problems. I made a decision at a really young age. I don't know if I was 4, 5, 6 years old, but at a really young age that I was going to face my problems head on. I was going to deal with it. I was going to run head first into my problems. Period, end of sentence. Whether I crashed and burned, whether I lost, whether I won, whether I failed, it didn't matter. I just figured it's got to be better to deal with your problems. You're going to learn, you're going to grow, whether you win, lose, or draw. So what happens is I paid attention to coaches, football, boxing coaches, wrestling coaches, martial arts coaches, kickboxing coaches, Muay Thai trainers. I listened to people who were like, hey, here's how you deal with this. This is what you do. Whether it was in a sport, in life. A lot of time your football coaches, especially in high school, your wrestling coaches, they're helping you deal with real life situations like you and your girlfriend, something went down, something happened, or a teacher did this, like how do you deal with it? What do you do? So sports is more than just learning about sports. A lot of it is how these mentors, these coaches help you in life. So you try on different, what we would call strategies, different ways of dealing with things, and you find out which ones work, which ones don't. Well, those people tend to be better people. They tend to deal with their problems better as they move forward in life. Whereas avoidance, they don't. You know who avoidants are? They are the very people that our parents told us about. Don't be around people that don't deal with their problems. Avoid people who don't, face their situations and take responsibility. They're just going to bring you down. As a kid, you're like, yeah, these are, and this is the word, these are the immature people. Now, watch what happens. While you are out there learning, growing, going to Tony Robbins seminars, motivational seminars, reading books on psychology, therapy, NLP, personal development, life coaching, hiring therapists, etc. Just like learning how do I make this better? What do I do? They're not doing that. Do you know what they're doing? They're learning strategies on how to avoid dealing with anything at all. Anything, problems at work, with their relationship, with their dating, anything at all. They just avoid it. So you begin learning and developing strategies on how to deal with situations, on how to overcome situations, on how to face situations in a healthier, more correct way. Whereas they're literally, now here's the funny thing, the flip side of the coin. The strategies that avoidants are learning are how to avoid dealing with their life. Any of it, their situations, anything that comes up, their problems, like, hey, I don't make enough money. I can't get ahead in life. I mean, anything and everything, they literally get really good. Now listen to this closely, because I know first you're like, no, I'm telling you. They get really skilled at learning how to not deal with anything. And then they can't figure out as they get older, because here's what happens. By the time an avoidant is 18 to 21 years old, they're crippled. Socially, they're crippled. They can't keep friends. They can't deal with people. They can't do anything. And so they're lost in life. And that's one thing you'll notice about avoidant. They're lost. They're confused. They're okay, listen to this real close. They are literally running away from everything that they love in life because they don't want to deal with any situation if there's a challenge at all, even a little challenge. Because the strategies that they learn and develop and sink in on an unconscious level, it's all about, oh, here's a problem. How do I get out of it? And that's what they listen to. It's not even that's what they listen to. It's just something that they programmed into their mind. Like, okay, exit stage left. Now, since they grew up this way at a very young age, they wonder why you're so upset about it. They're like, well, I don't understand. Isn't that the way everyone deals with it? No. Now, here's the other part. Now, number one, they really don't understand why you get hurt, why you get upset. Like, they're like, oh, I mean, we had a problem, so you got to leave. Like, what? That's their strategy. Number two, which is a part of that strategy, they leave you holding the bag. They dump all their problems on you or leave all the problems of the situation with you without zero explanation at all. And you're lost, literally holding the bag going, what happened? With zero communication. Now here's the part that's going to be really hard for you to understand. It sounds bizarre. To them, this is totally, completely normal and natural behavior because they've been doing it their entire lives since they were children. The bizarre part is they look at you like, what are you upset about? I don't understand. Like, they don't understand. And I'm not making an excuse for them. And I do not think that this is correct in any way, shape, or form. What I'm trying to get you to understand, they're lost going, why are you mad at me? I don't understand. Isn't this the way we deal with stuff? Run away? Now let's go to the other side of the fence, on your side of the fence. Here's the funny thing. We were raised to help people. We were taught and we said, hey, we got to make a difference in the world, etc. Here's the problem. A lot of us have dealt with narcissist abuse, and now avoidance. And our whole thing is, well, I just want to help them be happy. I want to help them get their lives together. I want to help them learn. I want to help them. No, these are people who don't deal with their stuff. So when you come along with completely opposite it's like you're on the other side of the moon that they've never seen, and like, what is this responsibility stuff? Wait, I don't understand. Why do you want to talk? I don't understand. We have problems, so let's stop talking. And you're like, no, this is when we need to talk. And they're looking at you like this is some alien invention or alien something that they've never seen. They're like, this doesn't even, honestly, it doesn't even make sense to their brain. Their entire toolbox of strategies and tools and skill sets is all developed around running away, avoiding, and not dealing and not facing and definitely not taking responsibility. So when you come along saying, hey, we can fix this, they're like, fix? You mean run away? So you're coming along with this mentality of, hey, let's, we can fix this. This isn't a problem. And they're like, fix? What are you talking about? I already ran away. Problem solved. Here's the worst part about it. The next thing they know, it might take 2 or 3 months or so, but all of a sudden they're feeling lonely, they're feeling empty, and they can't figure out why they can't get into a long-term relationship. They don't understand why they can't find someone to love them, and you're just kind of looking at them like, what? In their ideal world, by the way, these people are very, very left-brain people. So these people are down at the tip of the funnel where everything is concentrated, and this is perfection. When you live at the tip of the funnel, you overthink everything and you look at every single little detail, and here's the worst part, you don't connect them together, you separate them. So they're looking for the perfect scenario, and the key word is perfection. If the relationship, friendship, co-workership, or whatever is not perfect, abort, abort, abort. So when you're at the top, you ask questions like, for what purpose? What's your purpose? What's your greater purpose? These people don't do that. They're like, what's the details? What specifically? Why specifically? How specifically? And it digs them deeper and deeper, like, what's your point? They're looking at the point, at the details, and they're very specific and detailed, and that is perfection, and that's where people get stuck. And when their situation with you is not ideally perfect, everything is perfect, you're perfectly nice, you deal with every situation perfectly, they're out. Once again, looking for a relationship, not realizing relationships are at the other end of the scale. The further you go into the left brain, the further you go down into the tip. This is the opposite of relationships. This is math, business, science. It's mechanical. When you go up to the bigger purpose, this is what allows you to find agreement. So when you're talking to someone, you should say, well, what's their purpose for sharing this with me? Or you could even ask them that, or what's my purpose for sharing what I'm sharing with them? What's my purpose for being in this conversation? And you start to understand each other in a bigger way, in a much more meaningful way. And by the way, the bigger picture, the right brain is the relationship brain. This is where you should be when you're dealing with any kind of relationships, including business, sports, and other relationships. Now, the goal is not to be either or, either specific and detailed or bigger picture. The goal is to expand your range from bigger picture to middle small, all the way down to details, to be able to move fluently from left to right, open, bigger picture, smaller detail. That is the real goal of life. Most people choose either or. So the challenge with avoidance and even narcissist is they just deal with everything in a specific and detail because they don't want to feel their emotions, because God forbid they get hurt emotionally. Oh no. Now here's the catch-22. I don't know if that's the right word. There's another word I'm looking for. But here's the funny thing. When you're in the open, bigger picture energy, your energy is expanded and you don't get hurt. When you're in the concentrated energy, that's when every little thing feels like a needle prick and it hurts and it stings. When you are in there, that's when you heal. That's when you feel the pain. Bruce Lee used to say, be like fog. You know, what do you mean? Well, if you're like a brick wall, which is concentrated energy, by the way, you can throw a rock at it. You can hit it, which means you can hurt it. But when you expand open, your energy expands. It's like fog. Someone throws an insult at you, it goes right through the fog and you don't feel it. It doesn't hurt. You literally just have an open awareness of it, and that's it. This is a skill set that I teach people that I call internal awareness and emotional grounding techniques. This is what I specialize in. If I could say one thing, because even when I say I specialize in emotional healing and energy healing, this is what I'm doing. The internal awareness techniques, the emotional grounding techniques. This is what causes me to be so good at helping people to heal their emotions. Without this skill set, I wouldn't be able to do the stuff that I do. You can literally just take these techniques and learn these techniques from me, hire me to coach you one session at a time, once or twice a week, and do this for about 10 sessions, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, and learn and develop these skills so you can begin to do it on your own without me. Imagine if an avoidant learned how to do this and made a commitment. Their whole world will shift. All of a sudden, they'll learn, here's the key word, new strategies on how to deal with situations in a bigger, healthier, happier way that feel good and not painful. Avoidants create their own pain by being so specific and detailed, and they don't even realize they're doing it. And then they say, no matter what I do, it's just everything ends up hurting. Well, it's because of the way you're doing it. It's the strategies that you're using. You're self-inflicting pain without realizing it. There's a way out. That's what I've been telling you guys. Hey, this is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. If you enjoyed this video, please click subscribe, click the like button, go ahead and make a comment. And if you want, you can go ahead and make a donation. There's a PayPal link right there in the description box. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. And Victoria, thank you very, very much. I'm going to send that money to Sheena today. Victoria made a donation. Sheena is in the Philippines. The island she is on got walloped by a typhoon. I don't know if you guys paid any attention to the news over there in the Philippines, but they got slammed a few days ago really, really bad. Victoria, thank you very, very much for that. I am going to send that to her in a couple hours. All right, bye-bye. If you guys want to make a donation to help her out, please let me know. There's a PayPal link. You can make a donation right there, and I will send it to her directly. I will make a video recording of the receipt, and I will upload it online on this YouTube channel. Alright guys, see you in the next video. Bye.